Josh, how much do you think you should pay on the first date?
I think that it varies. It does vary depending on the person because, like, some dates could be relatively low cost. Like, if you're
Mm-hmm.
going for like a hike and ice cream or something like very
Mm.
small up to like very fancy meals. So, yeah, it could vary for quite a bit.
Okay. Well, how about this one? Who should be paying for the first date?
I believe it's the person who initiates it.
Okay. So, in recent times, or like in this video, a lady is saying that the man should be the one who pays regardless because they spend a lot of money on themselves to get ready and look pretty for the date.
That is wild. That is wild to think about because I like I think that in general, the
Mm-hmm.
person that initiates wanting to go on the date, I believe, should pay. But at the same time, I think about this and
Or just split it.
yeah, or just split it 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the thing is that she goes over and says how much each her like different makeup products cost, and it totals out to $750 to $8 worth of product that she uses to look pretty on her date. But a user responds and is like, based on the amount used for the date, she only spent $12.05, which is still a lot of money to be using in terms of just like makeup and stuff. But
Hmm.
but I'm like, damn.
There is a lot that I have to say about this because it's like that's yeah, $12. I mean, to look good for a date, I would say it's like pretty cheap if you're considering like people who use like professional artists or
Mm,
like people who bring in professional makeup people. So
that is true. But I mean, my thought is that she could be doing this every single day
mhm.
just to look this way normally. So I'm like, I don't know if that you would like actually charge that into the account of like a first date if you do it every single day.
Yeah, if you
That's
do
just
you,
like hygiene effectively.
yeah, essentially it is hygiene. Yeah.
Or like effective like one to one to hygiene if that's what something you do daily.
Mhm.
But we have more to talk about after you consider hitting the subscribe button, hitting the like button. We talk about interesting topics like this one daily. So if you want to keep up to date with interesting topics like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button. But I do think there is like some issue when it comes to the math involved, where like trying to say that you're paying $758 for a date when effectively you're only using a little bit of the product. I don't think that that should count.
No, I don't think that should count. And the thing is that what I want to say is that it's not a one to one because if let's
Mm,
say you're not going on the date and you still bought those products,
that's true.
it's like what else are you going to rationalize this purchase being for? Like, oh, look at this I bought all of this makeup to go on this one like trip. And it's
Mm.
like, well, I guess you're rationalizing it on how expensive this trip is based on those you buying those products. But if you had nothing going on, then you can't rationalize buying those products.
So, okay. So if you're saying that if you only bought this makeup and different things to only go on dates with,
Hmm.
so if it would be right if she only goes on one date with you and then they end up going out together, and so she never has to use those makeups again,
Hmm.
then she is right.
Then she is right, yeah.
So they would have to depend on how like if she finds true love on the first date
But
after
also,
paying $700.
she did not need to buy those products.
That is true. The person at the video, I don't think needed them really, but I mean, I don't know. I think
I
if you want to,
Yes, I think if you want to, you can buy products to make yourself look prettier
or feel more confident, I guess.
or feel more confident, by the way. But at the same time, it's like, yes, you did not need these products. I think it was just a rationale on spending for these products,
Mm.
and then personally, I think it's making a video about it and saying it's like, look how much I spent on
Uh,
these. I felt like it was like somewhat of a subtle flex, along with a rationale on why this
that
lady
should,
believed that men should pay for a date.
yeah,
But rule of thumb, like at least for me, is like the person who initiates the date should pay.
yeah.
And the thing is, like, if you want if the other party just wants to be friends, it's like a 50-50
Or if it doesn't work out,
or
yeah,
if it doesn't work out. But that's like from what at least I've read before.
yeah. I really don't know because I do think that the guy probably didn't spend that much in terms of like getting ready.
No,
People,
he probably threw water on his face.
it's just like he might have applied lotion.
That might.
Might. So I don't know. It's definitely a huge debate because if you think about the idea that she's saying that she put in already $758 towards this date, if in her head, how much money would the guy have to spend to like match it? Like, okay, like in that case, like what are you gonna do on the first date then for the guy to pay? Like, if your mind is like, oh, I already put in this much into it, like I don't think any of the dates are gonna go well enough in terms of like spending, unless you go like a 3-star restaurant or something with wine on your first date.
I wonder if they go on a second date, if the price gets decreased in terms of the value of the makeup, if she's still using the same ones, or maybe she went out to go buy all new ones.
All new ones? In that case, then yes, it is $700 something because she's using it only one time.
Yeah, if she's only used it one time, then it makes sense. But if not, if she's reusing them, I wonder if the dates get cheaper as it goes by.
I mean, it probably would, I guess.
But I don't think that there might be, but I don't think that a date would match the amount that she spent on that, especially on the first date. You would have to find someone that's, first off, going to be like really well off, or really like desperate to be like, I'm gonna pay $700 for a first date, because that's so much money.
That is that's like a whole experience.
That's like a car payment.
Yeah, that's definitely a car payment. Man, just thinking about that. Because like, yeah, if you have an experience, like, if you go do something and then go on to eat like really fancy meal, like I feel like at that point you're like buying her something.
You know,
it's like $700.
You know, she could have also gone on a trip with that money. Thinking about it, like a low cost trip.
$700. I mean, at least get the plane ticket.
Yeah, at least get the plane ticket, which is yeah, you could have done so much actually with this. Yeah, but I think it's just a rationale on just wanting to get the products.
Okay. But I mean, there are other debates in terms of like the whole who should pay, because another person previously, I think we may or may not have talked about it, but they ordered 48 oysters on the date,
crazy.
On the first date. So it's like, I don't know if, and then she's like, I guess expecting the guy to pay, but I mean, that's a lot of money on the first date, because the guy left. He's just like, no, I'm good.
Really?
Yeah. He like walked out of the restaurant and said, you know, I'm not going to pay for this. Like
48 oysters. This is crazy.
Yeah, because it was $15 for a dozen. So they had 4 dozen. So that's a lot of money on the first date.
Presumably, she had to pay for these oysters if she was ordering them.
Yeah, because he left.
Yeah, that's true.
Dine and dashed. I guess I don't think he ordered anything. I think she just ordered them all.
Oh God! So she ate 48 oysters. That's crazy.
That is a lot of oysters, though.
That is so much oysters.
But I mean, that's kind of like the other thing where people are saying that sometimes the people or other parties using it to their advantage just to get a free meal, or like, you know, like free stuff out of it, versus like actually trying to go and maybe like get to know the person. Because I feel like if you just want to get to know the person, I don't think it needs to be that expensive.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah,
we went through a whole tier list of places on the first date, thinking about it. Yeah.
And Cheesecake Factory is
Cheesecake Factory
S tier. But yeah, I don't know, because this whole first date thing is definitely an interesting topic, because it kind of goes back to like the whole, I guess, chivalry thing, like, oh, you know, the guy should pay and whatever. But nowadays, like, I think a lot of guys potentially could be making less than.
That's true. With the cost of living, the increase in prices, with the stagnant wages, it's hard. Yeah. It's hard to justify like even going out in general, but also like going out with someone that you possibly will not meet again. So like what goes through, I'm assuming, a lot of people's mind is that it's like, oh, you know, I want to get to know them. I want to spend a reasonable amount. And it's like, I don't want to spend too much if I don't don't know if I'm going to see them again.
That's true.
If you go like maybe on a second or third date, then I think that you possibly will be spending more. But on the first date, I'm assuming it's like the person doesn't really want to spend too much.
Yeah, especially in this like era of, you have to see multiple people type thing, where like if you're going to apps, you see multiple people, kind of weekly at this point, or like you're talking to multiple people.
And we have talked about it on this podcast, where it's like it's harder and harder to meet people.
Oh, in
So,
general.
yeah, in general. So this could put a wedge between, it's like you continuously meeting more new people if it's going to keep on costing more.
Yeah, because I mean, the thing is that if you are expected to pay so much money to have one date, then that kind of limits the person from even having other dates, because then they still need to buy other things, like they need to buy food to live.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it'd be very sustainable in the long run. But let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you think this is kind of the right thing, or do you think that there should be a split 50-50, or do you think that all the makeup should be listed in the value and that the guy should pay because they're already spending so much money? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below.